Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Kyra and I'm here today to talk about my tarot goals, the things I want to do that are tarot related in 2023. It's the 19th of December when I'm filming this. I have no clue when I'm going to put this up. I'm kind of in a filming mood and yeah. But first, the elephant in the room, my hair. If you're new here, I shaved my hair recently this summer for the first time ever. And I've decided I want to grow it back out. And so it's doing this. My hair is not long enough for me to be able to like brush it and control it, but it's long, but it's long enough that it sticks up. So it's kind of having a party and just kind of doing its own thing. Today it's not so bad. The hair at the sides is starting to go more down than out, so that's good. But yes, my hair, it's an experience up in here with my hair. Anywho, it is December 19th as I'm filming this. I don't know when this is gonna go up. And I don't think this is going to be a very long video. And a huge shout out to Logan from Larkin Legend, because it's because of them that this is not going to be a very long video, or not nearly as long. I have four. I have four kind of tarot goals for the new year. And I'm trying to share about this stuff so that way I can look back at it, at least for myself, and see where I've come, how I've succeeded at my goals. I'm trying to learn how to goal here. It's a thing. I plan a lot. It does not mean I complete my plans. No, it does not. Anywho, so I kind of have three main goals. And the reason I'm saying a huge shout out to Logan and a huge thank you to them is because one of the goals is to work with my decks that I talked about in my VR to their tag, hashtag deck reconnect. I'm actually filming this before I film that. So I don't know what decks those are. I have a couple in mind. I haven't gotten the exact details of like the exact wording of the tag. I know it's deck reconnect. I think that's it. I'll put the correct hashtag. I'll make sure I get the details when I'm editing. But that's why it's like, it's a bit strange at this moment, because I've been wanting to do that. And I talked about that when I did my deck collection video earlier throughout the year. There's a number of decks that I feel like I haven't connected with, and I want to. I talked about in previous videos wanting to know, and I'll link the playlist of my deck collection evolution up above. I want to know what space my decks have in my life. When I have a defined space of this is what this thing is, here's the space it has in my life, then I'm much better able to moderate. And not overindulge in things in spaces I don't want to. And then I have more space for other things I want in my life. And that's something I'm really trying to work on defining, because there's a lot of things like tech, for example, where I let it take up a larger space in my life than I want to, because I haven't defined what space I want it to take in my life and what purpose it serves for me. So, and I don't want my tarot work to be consumed by just one deck, because I like variety, and just because I haven't defined things. So, and when I don't know what purpose a deck has, and so it just sits here, my collection's literally like, here's a deck. It's literally right here. When I don't know what place they have in my life and what I've got them for, it's like they taunt me. They're like, Kyra, play with me, play with me. And then I don't know what to do. So I want to work on knowing what space they have. And for some of them, that's going to be specific types of readings. For some of them, that's going to be like, I have this deck to have a variety for my membership readings. For some of them, it's going to be other things. I don't know. But I really want to work on that. That is a goal, working on understanding what place the decks I have in my collection. And so the Deck Reconnect VR, which I am going to be filming, I will be talking more about that there. So huge shout out. I've been trying to think of how to talk about this, and then I found out about this tag when Krista from Crochet Witch Tarot, who I'll link up above, and I'll link Logan, of course, as well. Sorry that I didn't say that sooner. I actually feel kind of normal today. I've been sick with the flu, and I'm actually feeling better. So I'm going kind of woo. Anywho, so yeah. So when I saw the VR Krista did, I got super excited. And then I went and I started watching Logan's video. I still have to finish it. I'm very excited because it's perfect. It's perfect for doing the thing I wanted to do that I didn't know how I wanted to do it. So thank you, Logan. I hope you see this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just perfection. So that's my first goal, I guess, is defining the decks, defining the place, defining what place my decks have in my collection, in my life, and like reconnecting with some of them. So I'll talk more about that in the VR. My next goal is the year in the Wildwood Adventure. So finally this year, and I say finally because I've wanted this deck for a long time. I wanted it, but I was scared of the part of myself that wanted it. I talked about this in the video where I was pondering and talking through my feelings about the Witch's Wisdom. I've come to no decisions at this point about the Witch's Wisdom, but I finally got my Wildwood Tarot. And this deck, this is working really well. There's no glare. What is this glory? This is pretty cool. Look at me go. This deck, I have wanted this for a long time, but it took me a while to actually admit that I wanted it, because of the trauma and shadows. Like, this deck to me feels like my soul in a way. Like it's naturey, it's dark and twisty in the best kinds of ways, and it's spiritual and pagan and stunning. And I love that this is the Hanged Man card. It's wild and dark and twisty and all these things that make me excited. But before I could have it, I had to accept that I am dark and twisty in all sorts of exciting and fun ways. And what can I say? I'm a dark and twisty sort of woman. It's a fun thing. Anywho, so I finally got this deck. And I haven't worked with it much yet. This is not I've determined this is not a deck I like for, like just daily pulls. This is something deeper. And I want to use it with the Wheel of the Year. But I'm in a very interesting space with my Wheel of the Year, because with like the pagan Wheel of the Year, like I haven't done a pagan Wheel of the Year reading since Beltane. And I haven't really missed the way I used to do readings. I'm very much I'm very much developing my spiritual practice. And I think that's why I love the pagan wheel of the year. I don't know it very well. And I feel like there's things in it that resonate. Like, I feel like the idea of what the pagan wheel of the year originated from, of like following harvests, celebrating nature, that like there's a deep part in it that fits for me, and then all the rest is bells and whistles and fluff that I don't necessarily give two shits about. So I'm trying to develop my yearly cyclical seasonal practice, and I'm extremely excited to use the Year in the Wildwood with the Wildwood Deck. This is by Alison Cross, to explore that and to get to know the Wildwood Tarot. So this book, it has I'm just flipping through. It's got like a preface and all sorts of things. It talks about entering the Wildwood. This book has the entire deck broken down and put out to periods of time. So you can words are hard. So you can sit there. So each time in the year you have there, I found it. So there are hub cards. There are 3 hub cards. So all throughout the year, I'll have a hub card out. And then there's cards for more specific periods of time. So the hub cards go like from November 1st to February 1st, February 1st, May 1st, August 1st, to November 1st. Why is there a missing middle? What about June and July? November, December, January, February, March, April, May, August, September, October, November. Where's June and July? I wonder if it talks about that. That's very strange. There's the summer solstice for June. Sorry, that just threw me off that there's no hub card for, there's no hub card for June or July listed, unless that's like a typo. Anyways, it's got this whole, I haven't read the book, so I don't know, but it's got this whole breakdown where the hub represents the core energies of the year and is the heart of the forest. The hub is divided into seasonal quarters. Each quarter pivots upon one of 4 Wildwood guardians. Oh. I think my book just has an error. The table at the back has an error because it lists all 4. So okay, cool. So the hubs are the quarters. So spring is the shaman. So May to August is missing. May, June, July, August. Okay, that's super easy for me to fix. Because here it says autumn, Lammas to Samhain, the seer. It says summer, Beltane to Lammas, the world tree. So it's not listed in the back thing. So if you do get this book, be aware of that. But the active dates for cards appendix is on page 166. But on page 14, it does talk about it. But so you get cards based on where you are in the season, including cards for specific periods of time, and it gives you dating and cards, like overarching cards, and then based on the month, or I don't know the exact details of the breakdown, but it breaks it down so you have specific things. So winter is the time of arrows. Or sorry, spring is the time of arrows. And the time of arrows is from Imbolc to Beltane. So it's got the time, and then it's got hub cards, it's got all sorts of things, but there's a whole breakdown, and it does it through the whole wheel of the year. So I want to do this, and I'm very excited because I'm also going to here, this desk beside me, is like my main sit-down altar. I have a big working altar, but this is like my main sit-down altar, and I'm going to set it up to be my seasonal altar. So I'm very excited about that, and I have the perfect altar cloth for it. It's not like a big sized one. So, and I'm actually thinking about doing a video of me setting up the altar for that. This book doesn't start to Imbolc, or Imbolc, however you pronounce it. It doesn't start till then. I am going to set up the altar with the cards before then, and then I'll set it up and change it with the cards seasonally. And I'm very excited. So that's my second tarot goal. My third tarot goal is to work through this book, Tarot for Yourself. When I study things, it's always interesting because people like ask me for like resources for how I've learned astrology and stuff. I'm weird. I don't study a lot by book. I study by listening to other people, like watching YouTube videos, listening to people talk about their tarot experiences, relating it to their life, like their tower moments in their real life. Like Lisa Papez, her tarot memoirs was one of my biggest and most favorite learning tools. I'll link that up above in the cards. So I've never actually done a tarot workbook or anything like that. I come up with my own ways to study. I really want to do this. I have no clue how it's going to go. I'm a little nervous, but what I like about this is that it's got it's a workbook. It's got journaling, questions. So this one, it's got a major arcana spread where you do a spread with all the major arcana, and then it's got places to do the interpretations. So I really want to work through this. And I think having this will really help me, or could really help me use more of my decks and decide which ones do have a space to stay in my collection and yada, yada, yada. So that is my my third tarot goal, is to work through Tarot for Yourself. And then my last tarot goal has to do with buying tarot decks. I don't like this goal. This goal is not my friend. That's fine. I'm just being a salty bitch about it. I reached a point about halfway this year, in 2022 when I'm filming this. You might be seeing this in 2023. I don't know. I reached a point where I just got sick of living on the surface of things. And this is something I do a lot. There's a lot of things in my life in which I've been taught and traumatized to be scared of my own depth. Because I've been called too much, too big, too loud, too intense, too whatever. All sorts of things like that. And this year, I've really started to learn about myself and who I am. There have been some extremely defining things, like changing my name, discovering that I'm likely autistic, all sorts of things. And I want space in my life for the things I want. And in order to do that, I have to let go. I'm going into a death card year, so how appropriate. I have to let go of the things that are taking up more space in my life than I want them to be. This year has really been about me learning that I am allowed to cultivate my life, not just my tarot collection, not just my spirituality. My entire life is mine to cultivate it as I want. As long as I am willing to live with all the consequences and repercussions that might bring, my life is mine to cultivate. And I feel like I didn't know that at the start of the year, and I'm hopeful that next year I'll actually be putting action to a lot of the things I've been learning this year, because this year's been a hanged man year. It's been about surrendering. This has been a year of learning. That's what it is. It's mental, emotional learning. And oh my God, am I tired? Oh, I am so ready to not be learning anymore. Like, at least for a bit. Not that I'm not going to stop not that I'm going to stop learning, because that's not healthy. And I love learning, but I want to do something now. I'm ready for action, please. So I'm ready. And part of this is like, when you live on the surface, just on the surface, we develop a lot of unhealthy things. And for me, one of them is spending. And partway through this year, it was, I can't lie, the catalyst of it was a need, a necessity, to not spend as much, because I don't have as much money. But it's not even about that. I am so tired of like getting money, and then I'm like, what did I want? I can't remember anything I wanted to buy. And then but this money is burning a hole in my pocket, so I spend it on something, and then as soon as I've spent it on something, then I realize what it is I wanted. And then I never have the money for the things I really want, because I'm frivolously spending. I'm tired of being frivolous. I'm not a frivolous person. Now I'm looking up the definition. Yeah, I'm not a frivolous person. I have moments of frivolity, for sure. I love that word, by the way, frivolity. Oh. But I'm not a frivolous person. I'm serious, and I'm fun, and I'm intense, and I'm loud, and sometimes I'm really quiet. I am a walking contradiction of contradictions. I don't want my tarot practice. I don't want my purchases of tarot to be based on frivolity. I want to be able to buy the decks I'm extremely interested in. So like throughout the months, it's become a lot easier. I don't have nearly as many cravings to go and buy decks. Like for example, I'm getting I know what's under my tree because I picked it. In some cases, I literally bought it and gave it to my wife and said, here you go. And I'm excited because these are things I picked extremely intentionally, and things that I'm incredibly excited for. And so I want to get really intentional about my purchasing for tarot. So I have some kind of rules. Before I buy a deck, it has to go on my wish list. It has to go on my wish list for a period of time. I haven't determined any period of time, and I think if I put that kind of a label on it, I don't think that will go well. But there's no impulse, like it has to go on my wish list. Because there are things that I really want. Like this, for example. This has been on my wish list for over a year. It was over a year when I determined that I knew I wanted it, and I never bought it. I kept buying other things even though I wanted this, because I kept forgetting that I wanted to buy this. I wasn't prioritizing it. Now, it's different when you have something on your wish list and you look at it and you're like, I don't think I'm ready yet. That's fine. But the decks have to go on my wish list. They have to go on my wish list. And I have to put thought into them. So like, I have to put intention into them. If I see a deck and I'm curious, I need to do more research. And then I put it on my wish list, and there it will stay. And then when I have money, it's not even going to be a situation where it's like, when I have money, I'll go to my wish list and buy a deck. No, I am methodically going through my wish list. It needs to start being methodical. I have to start being methodical because I have limited resources. And while there is a good chance that after the first quarter of the year, that will begin to change and my resources available to me for purchase will grow, there are other things in my life that I also want to spend money on. For example, there's a big purchase I want to do this year that I don't want to talk about. I'm kind of weird in that, like, some things, if I tell too many people, it's like if I tell too many people I'm going to do something, I tend to not do it. And I don't know if it's just like, I tend to tell people the things that are a passing fancy and then I don't do it. But when there's something I seriously want to do, I tend to not share at first. So there is something, there's a big purchase. It will cost hundreds of dollars. And I want to save for that. And I'm not going to be able to if I'm just purchasing tarot decks willy-nilly, even when I have resources. So there has to be intention. So in my new journal for 2023, the video of this is up above in the cards. I have on my goal page I set up for this quarter, and I plan to have it for every quarter, I have my purchase priorities. I have my rent, because currently it's December and we need some money towards April and May's rent. I have my big purchase, and then I have other purchases. Some of them are tarot decks, some of them are not, like the Fable Makers Tarot Deluxe. I want to get that for my wife. She is a D&D dork and she would love it. I've shown it to her. Watch Lisa's video about the big book. I'll link it up above. It was fabulous. She loves it. So I want to be able to get that for her. So I want us to prioritize that as an expenditure. And this is outside of all our other expenditures, like having to buy Cameron new clothes. That's our son when he outgrows things. Then I have stuff for my sewing machine, the Alchemical Tarot and book. I really love the Alchemical Tarot. Robert M. Place's artwork is stunning. Like I actually don't know whose artwork it is, but the artwork on the Alchemical Tarot is stunning, and I really want to read that book. So, and I'm going into my 9th house perfection year of spirit and study. So I want that for my birthday. Hopefully we have enough money then. But I have the list, and I'm making sure to include some decks that I want to buy in this list. And I'm currently also working on reorganizing my wish list, my tarot spreadsheet. And I want to go through my wish list, and I want to organize it in order of priority. So that way, if there's a time where I've made it through those purchase priorities, I can go to my tarot wish list and I can say, okay, what's the next deck on my priority? And I can check in with myself and see if that's changed. But I'm thinking towards the future. I need to stop waiting until it's like, I've got money, what tarot deck should I buy? I need to not do that. I need to be more intentional. I don't think it's realistic for me to say I won't buy any decks. And like, I do know I know specific priorities, and there are things that are important to me coming up that I really want to be able to do. And in order to do that, I have to plan, I have to account for them, and I have to stop spending money in between. So that way, when that comes up, I can do it. For example, there's a tarot deck called the Wisdom of Pooh Tarot, like Winnie the Pooh, Pooh Bear, that is coming to Kickstarter this year, I believe, in 2023. I know 100% that deck, backing that on Kickstarter is a top priority. And I won't be able to do that unless I plan. So that's what I'm doing. And I can't plan unless, like, I need to plan for that. And I think this will also help me build focus and patience and lots of things. But yeah, so I'm not going to be just buying any tarot decks necessarily. They have to come off my wish list. They have to have been on my wish list enough for me to determine that I for sure definitely want them. And it has to be methodically done. I don't get to jump ship on the things. I have to actually, think about it. And those are my tarot goals for 2023. I'm really excited. And I've really learned this year how great an experience it can be to wait. Like, I did the Gentle Tarot Kickstarter for the Tarot in a Tin. I loved that experience. I pre-ordered the Boo Tarot. I loved that experience. I did the Songs of the Grandmothers Kickstarter. I loved that experience. And I thought about those things hard. And as a result, I feel much more connected to them and much more glad that I have them. And shock, when you think about things and connect them to you as a person, you tend to make better decisions. Who'd have thought? Anyways, those are my tarot goals. I am so excited for the new year, and I hope you're excited too. Do you have any tarot goals? Let us know in the comments down below, as I would love to talk about it. And while you're down there, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up to let me know if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so you can come on back nice and easily. In the description box below, you will find a link to my website. I'm a professional tarot reader and astrologer, and I specialize in combining the two to create reading experiences that are completely unique to the people. And I love my work so much. I hope you will check it out. There's also a link to my YouTube channel membership here. And there might be a join button beside the subscribe button. I am not sure. But you can check those out there. I have lots of exciting things in the tiers. I love them. And you will find my email address. So if you get confused looking at the website, or if you have any questions for me or video requests or something, you can reach out and reach me there. I gotta go though, because I actually have a live coming up that I have to get ready for my Astro Allies. So that's channel membership tier. Check it out. But I'm gonna let you go, and I'll see you again very soon. Lots of love. Bye.